Hello. Welcome to the Malden Board of Appeal public hearing, June 16th, 2021. I'm just going to read from the agenda. The Malden Board of Appeal will hold a public hearing Wednesday, June 16th, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time at Malden City Hall, 215 Pleasant Street, Malden, on the following name petitions. The meeting is being recorded by by Urban Media Arts. So we are now going to open the meeting. I believe we first have to do a roll call. Sorry, we're getting used to this new system.
Okay, click the It clicked. Do you have?
First time using this new system. All right, try that. Yep,
Okay, Kramer,
yeah.
Sullivan,
Here.
Sherwood,
Here.
King,
Here.
Bilgan. Thank you.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, first of all, this meeting is officially open. It's 6:31 p.m. We're going to start out by approving the minutes from our meeting on May 19th, 2021 by vote. Would anybody like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the May 19th, 2021 meeting.
Okay, we'll call the roll. Motion to approve minutes, Bilgan? Yes. King?
Yes.
Sherwood?
Yes.
Sullivan? Yes. Kramer?
Yes.
Thank you. Minutes are approved.
Okay, so the first petition we're going to hear today was tabled from May 19th, 2021. It's petition 21-004 by Mr. Pereira and Ms. Bonaventura for a variance of MCC 12.16.010, Chapter 12 of the revised ordinances of 2020 as amended of the City of Malden, namely dwelling, single-family dimensional controls, side setback for deck, as per plans RES 033500-2020, at the property known as and numbered 7-9 Loomis Street, Malden, Mass., and also known by City Assessors Parcel ID 160623323. So you can go up to the podium. So now I have to turn you on.
Good evening, Mr. Chair. Good evening, members of the board. Welcome to your first meeting in your new digs. Long overdue. I'm glad to see you all here. My name is Roberto DeMarco. I have just recently been retained to aid the homeowners in this petition. I have to say, having reviewed, I believe they've done an excellent job of presenting their case. This is a hardship. They made a mistake. COVID causes lots of mistakes, and they're asking for leniency. Having reviewed the project, I know that the city commissioner, building commissioner, Mr. Nelson, went by the property and also looked at it. The footings are in. The deck can be pushed back a little bit. He's made a recommendation which the homeowners are more than willing to abide by, that the deck be at 7 feet. This was a pre-existing non-conforming deck in the first place. They extended the use. They thought they were doing it right. They didn't. The deck goes over a piece of land that has pretty much, and I have to say this, looking back at the historical photos, has been unused. So they are downhill and away from the house next to them. If any of you have seen this, the pictures there. And the topography makes it incredibly difficult for that piece of land to be put to any other real use. And extending the deck along the side of the house actually gives them better access in case of emergency, as well as just on a day-to-day from their second means of egress. So when looking at it, I see that it does, in my view, meet the variance requirements. I do not see that there's a detriment to the neighborhood. There was a deck there, albeit smaller. And this is an area that has not been used. The trees have grown up along that border, creating a natural screening. They're going to increase the screening by putting up a fence along that area to shield the neighbors. So they're doing, I think, what is the best of all worlds in terms of fixing the issue. I would ask the leniency of this board in granting the variance. I do see that it meets I do believe that it meets the requirements of a variance, and that the variance should be granted due to the weighing of the issues, particularly the land topography, the hardship on the petitioner, and the lack of a detriment to the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. So did everybody get a chance to look at the new plans? Any additional discussion you want to have?
I don't know, I'd like to speak to the building commissioner.
Okay.
Good evening.
The new plans are something that you feel is something that is appropriate for the site?
That's not how I would convey it. I was asked by the board to go to the property and see if I could give them, the property owners, suggestions to either lower the deck. I believe the board had a desire to see if it could be lowered closer to the ground, or reduce it in size in a way that wouldn't involve taking the whole thing down. So I did go out to the site. Homeowners were there. We looked at it. It's impossible to lower it. There's a number of windows, there's some mechanical equipment, so there's no way the deck is being brought down. What I did next was evaluate the way it was constructed and framed to see what would be the smallest size you could make it without essentially starting over. And the way it's constructed, it's sitting on top of a beam, and I figured out you could take about a foot off of the depth of it, the distance from the house out to the railing. You could take about a foot off without starting over. So,
In the length,
I'm sorry?
in the length down the house?
The length, if you take anything off of the length, you would essentially be reconstructing it, because there are staircases at both ends. The rear staircase drops all the way to the backyard, so that would be starting all over also. So so it's not conveyed as my recommendation, it was more of my evaluation of the deck and what they could possibly do to it, if the board were to feel that that was appropriate.
I'm concerned about how long that is and what that makes the ability, how it's no longer just an access or a safety issue. I mean, at 32 feet long, it's more than that. I mean, it's going to be a consideration, I think, for, that kind of an allowance. You can't cut that, in your opinion, as far as making it shorter and then moving a stairway. I know it's not easy, but they could do something like that.
You can do anything to it. The question comes down to the cost. So again, I don't want this to be conveyed as my recommendation as to what they should do to the deck. I was just evaluating what can be done to it simply. If anything further than cutting it down by 1 foot would be more involved because of the location, the size, the way it was constructed.
But it's doable.
Anything's doable. Yep.
Well, not anything, but
Well, yeah,
Mostly.
depends how much money you got.
that's right.
Any more questions for Mr. Nelson? I'm not used to these mics.
So,
Was there any public comment on this matter? You can come up.
I think you know I'm the neighbor on the other side of the property.
So it's recording, so it actually doesn't pick up your voice unless you're talking into the,
Okay.
it's weird to get used to, but just say who you are and then,
My name is Katrina. I live on the other side of the property. I feel 7 feet by 32 feet does not represent what was there at all initially. I don't think it's necessary to have a deck that big right there for an egress. And I think it is very intrusive to our side of the property because that is the side our bedrooms are on. If they want to do like a 3-foot walkway the length of the house and have steps into the backyard, that's fine, but not a large deck that you can have tables and chairs and people on, because our bedrooms are all there. And there's plenty of space in their backyard that they could just do a walkway the length of the house, stairs into the backyard and put their deck up there. I feel bad that they've got this far with the deck. It's their own fault. When they started the project, we mentioned it to them. We told them they were way off. At that stage, they hadn't put any of the decking down. They had just poured the footings. So unfortunately, yes, they made a mistake, but it is a mistake of their own doing. They were made aware of where the property lines were. So, and I just would like to say, really would like this to be over and done with. If we could try and make a decision tonight, we'd really appreciate that. But I do oppose what's there, and I do oppose the new plans they submitted. Thank you.
thank you.
Anyone else? If not, you can close it.
Anybody else for a public comment on this? Okay, so we'll close it to public comment. Any more discussion by the board?
Discussion from the board.
Or questions?
No, I have no questions, just, comments on, I have to say that I've been concerned from the beginning about the size of it, and I'm trying to convey that to the homeowners. I mean, and I'm sorry that it's gotten, they had built it this far as towards completion, but for what was there and what is there now, I mean, there's just a huge difference, I think. It's not necessary for their egress. I mean, it's more than necessary for the egress. And it's, the city of Malden, the building department was open all the time. The city of Malden has its ordinances online that are available to anyone if they look, if they want to find out what setbacks are and things. COVID did cause problems for people, but Malden, I think, had resources that were available continually through that period of time that were available to people if they need to see it. That's just my comments on it. I mean, if you're ready for a motion,
Would you like to make a motion?
make a motion that the petition be denied.
quick question. If we deny this petition, is that saying that they can't have anything?
They can have a second egress, which the building commissioner can tell them what they can do for that. I mean, I think he said that they have to allow for a second egress. So that, but that's, we don't design second egresses.
Right.
That would be along the line of what was there before, correct?
Yes.
If I understood, it would be that landing, yeah.
Okay, would anybody like to second that motion?
I would just say that I would be in favor of having them rebuild what was there previously, if that were an option. But if that didn't work for them, I'm sure that they can get a second means of egress, that the stairs can be directed towards the backyard instead of the street, which I would understand would be quite an improvement if you have a kid and you're trying to get to your backyard. So that might give you a clean slate to do what you want that is within the zoning code. So that may actually be more desirable than what was there.
Was that a second or no?
Is that a new motion?
Well, we need a second of the first one.
I will second John's motion.
If someone wanted to amend it, but I mean, it's,
So we can deny this petition and allow them to build what had been there,
they will, then they go to the building commissioner, he would allow them.
if that's what, an option that they want, and I would put
Okay.
that in as, amendment.
Okay,
But I can't third something.
If I understood correctly, I think that as of right, they can do that. I don't think we have to amend it, if I understood Nelson correctly. You want to jump in?
Yeah, I don't want to direct the motion, but if you could just make sure that the motion clarifies whether or not you're allowing them to put back a code-compliant egress, or you're allowing them to put back what they had, because what they had was actually bigger than that. So if you could just make sure that's stated in the decision, and then if the stairs are going to go a different direction, if you could decide on that also. So I think that is an amendment to John's motion, I think.
So someone else might have to amend it if they agree, allowing them to rebuild what was there and giving them the freedom to put the stairs on either side, or not.
I'll withdraw my second. I'm in support of that, but only allowing what was allowed before, no more, no less. I guess maybe that's a new motion, a new motion.
I will second and add that the homeowners may not build what they put in front of us today, but they could rebuild what was there and have the freedom to put the stairs on the other side if they'd rather utilize the backyard than the front yard, but no bigger than what had been there, as far as the landing and the stair width.
I'm fine with that.
so how are we drawing that up? Okay,
You got that?
all right, so he withdrew his, so then you made the motion by Catherine to rebuild what was there, and they may have a second set of stairs going to the back?
I didn't say second stairs.
Or just, you won't allow them the front?
One set of stairs, and they can choose which
What
direction
direction?
that goes.
Okay.
If it requires one more landing to go to the backyard, then they could add that landing. So I'm restricting them to the width of the previous stairs and the square feet and dimensions of the previous landing.
You might want to check, ask Nelson, he has to go give them access to the front for an egress.
Nelson, by code, do they have to have access to the front yard?
They don't,
Okay,
no.
okay,
They just have to have access outside.
okay. Thank you.
All right, so a motion by Catherine Bilgan,
Second.
you seconded, so Adam give it the first one?
I also denied it, but I added in that they
Okay,
amended.
so you're gonna, right,
amended it.
okay. Okay, so you second the denial. Okay, so on motion by John King to deny, second by Catherine Bilgan. To deny petition, they may reconstruct, they may put the deck back at what the previous size it was, and they may choose which side the stairs may go on. Okay. All right, let's call that. Okay. All right, we'll call the roll. Can you, is that Mario?
I think you're live now. Try it.
All right.
Put tap on the, yeah. Yeah, you're live.
Okay. Bilgan?
Yes.
She was.
King?
Yes.
Sherwin?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Kramer?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Motion is denied, the petition is denied. They may put back what was there before for the second egress, and they may choose which side to put the stairs on.
Thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on to the second petition, 21-007 by Mr. Huang for variance of MCC 12.16.010, Chapter 12 of the revised ordinances of 2020, as amended of the City of Malden, namely dwelling, single-family dimensional controls, rear setback for deck, as per plans RES 037365-2021, at the property known as and numbered 34 Tremont Street, Malden, Mass., and also known by City Assessors Parcel ID 074242214. Good evening, Mr. Huang.
Good evening. My name is Wenling Huang. I moved to Malden just over a year and a half. And I'm very excited that I moved to Malden. I like the property very much. Today I'm just want to propose a small deck in my backyard, which is just in the corner of the house. It's not existing the current setback. It's inside of the current setback. It's in the corner of the backyard. Just fill it up. The corner, it's 12 by 12 feet, and less than 3 feet high. That would be give me privacy. Would would be gain appreciation of the house. Would be looks nice, and would be easier for me to manage my backyard. So that's it.
Thank you. Sorry I mispronounced your last name.
My name is Wenling Huang.
I know, I mispronounced it, I'm sorry. I said Huang, but I mispronounced it. That's all I'm saying, sorry I mispronounced your name.
The address is 34 Tremont Street. I just moved in that property.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions about this?
Sir, what's on the side of your home?
On the side of the home,
Yeah, if you're facing the front, what's on the left-hand side?
on the left side is a single family. On the right, I think is also another single family. I'm not sure. Maybe it's two family.
I meant on your property itself. Is there a yard on the left-hand side of your home?
If you look from the street, it's on the left. Yes.
So there is a yard on the left-hand side?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
The dri-
I have two parking space parallel to each other. So if you see the diagram, the porch, the deck, is sit in the corner of the back door, back door, to just fill up the corner there.
Could the deck go on the side, or is there a reason you want it behind the home?
Sorry, is that case?
Could the deck go on the side? I mean, is there a specific reason you wanted it?
It's on the side, yes.
No, on the side of your home, on that left-hand side.
That's where it is.
On the,
It's because that's my entrance. I have to go to my entrance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's back door.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to look at it today due to my schedule.
Yeah, it's a fit that corner. It's go to the back door.
Did anybody want to see a street view of what they're talking about?
no, went by, sorry.
I think I hit this.
Push it harder.
Oh, there we go, okay. Can you explain the gap at the deck? Is there basement access next to the deck?
Yes, there is a space there.
Yeah.
I left this space there. Yeah, you can.
In the basement? Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right, so that's, yeah, otherwise it would be further from the property line, but you have to keep access to the basement?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And then another question, are you opposed to lowering the deck, or does it need to be 3 feet?
So the total height is going to be, it's going to be less than 3 feet.
Do you know
above
how
the
much?
ground.
Do you know how much less than 3 feet?
2.5, approximately 2.5 feet above the ground.
Because I think if it's 30 inches, that gives you a little more flexibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if you could avoid a variance by lowering it and just having one step by the door, or
Oh,
a
one
little
step.
or a little landing by the door, and then the deck could be low enough where you don't need a variance.
Yeah, I would probably more comfortable to have just maybe one step
Yep,
up to reach my back door.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it looks like you might be able to drop it. You don't want to do the deck at the door because of snow. Usually
Yeah.
you drop the deck one step.
Yes.
So if that brings it down to 30 inches, 2.5 feet, I
Less
don't,
than two. I think it's about 2.5 inch. Yeah, 2.5 feet.
2.5
About
feet.
2 feet, maybe something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says 3 feet, but he has it at the door, so you could drop it 6
Yeah.
inches.
I would leave, one step
Yeah,
to one step, not more than that.
yeah.
To the back door. That'd be more comfortable, more ideal for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That helps. So if you get 2 feet of snow, you can't open the door. If it goes out, if you have like a
I
screen
can.
door.
No, the back door, if I leave like about 10 inch,
Like 6
yeah,
or
10
7.
inch,
Yeah,
I can.
yeah,
Yeah, I can open the door.
yeah.
Normally.
So what she's asking,
Oh,
or saying is that if you change the plans and lowered it so that, is it the top,
30.
top of the deck?
the,
Is at 30 inches. You can go see him tomorrow and he'll give you, no.
Time out.
I'm wrong, of course.
I could be wrong, I mean, I started this. Maybe we can talk to Mr. Nelson and get some clarity.
So we're flipping a couple codes around here. So the first one is 30 inches or less for anything. If it's 30 inches or less, it doesn't require guardrails, railings.
Yep.
If it's 30 inches or less, not attached to the building, and doesn't serve as a second means of egress, it doesn't need footings and wouldn't be considered a structure that would comply to zoning. So I don't believe this one would work, because I believe it's a second means of egress for the building. So I'd have to check it again, I guess, but I don't think that would work. Because you'd have to attach it to the building.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Forget what I said.
I heard the word egress. I don't know what does it mean.
In
Can
and
you?
out, how to get in and out of the house. So it's,
Huh?
it means how you get in and out of the house.
Oh, get
Is the egress.
get in.
You need a front door and a back door. And the front door and the back door are also called egress. So you need your back door. You need to be able to get out of your house through the
Yeah.
back door.
Yeah.
So that's what egress is. That's,
Okay, so it's a space. Go to the door. Go through. Go through.
it's the actual door itself is
Oh.
the egress.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but if you need steps,
width of
if you
the
need
door.
steps from the door to the ground, that's part of the egress path.
Oh.
So you need steps no matter what, or some way to get from the door to the ground.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this home is a non-conforming use already, right? Because it's not 20? See, I think he has a right to do it I think he can do this as of right. I mean, maybe Nelson will jump in, but I think because he's not expanding it, it's only going up to where the existing non-conformity is, and it's not really, it's a minor addition. I actually think he's allowed to do it as of right, under non-conforming use law.
It's actually, looks like he's not going as far even as the one part of the house. I mean, he's only got the 12.5 and,
Yeah.
so we're keeping it even within that.
Sir, you live at this home, right? This is your residence?
Yes, I own this home. Yeah, and yeah. So that's yeah.
And he has got all permits.
What's that?
I did look, and he's gotten all his permits because he's done other work in the house.
Yeah.
You've done more work inside the house.
Oh yes, I've done a lot, and did new roof and floor and the garden. We planted a lot of trees around, and the garden looks a lot better. And so a deck, backyard there will help me to manage the property and raise up the appreciation for sure.
Any other questions for the petitioner? Okay, so now we'll open it up for public comment. I don't see anybody else here, but we do have a letter from a city councilor in support of this. I don't know if you all had a chance to review that, or if I should read it. Okay, probably have to read it, right? Let me get a sip of water. So this is from Councilor Ryan O'Malley via email. Dear Malden Board of Appeal, as the Ward 4 City Councilor, I submit this letter in support of the petition to construct a deck on the side of the existing structure at 34 Tremont Street. I have reviewed the petition and find the proposal to be an improvement to the petitioner's property that would not negatively impact surrounding properties. I think you meant indicated, not indicted. As indicated, it says indicted, but I think you meant as indicated by the petitioner, the proposed deck will be located within the existing rear setback this property adhered to when it was originally built or modified. The proposed deck is in conformance with that setback and does not increase the grandfathered rear setback nonconformity. As we have seen during the COVID-19 pandemic, outdoor gathering spaces not only serve a recreational function, but more importantly, a public health function because they help reduce the chance of airborne transmission of viruses. The City of Malden, through its various officers, boards, commissions, and council, should conduct a top-to-bottom review of existing ordinances and regulations that discourage improvements to property that could make our community more livable and safe. Additionally, we have also seen an increase of multi-generational households as families come together during challenging economic times. This familial housing trend also allows our seniors to age in place rather than go into nursing homes. As such, the addition of small decks will allow homes like this one to easily add a chairlift or other handicap-accessible feature if and when the need arises. In closing, I respectfully urge the board to act favorably upon this petition as property owners face financial and other hardships to update their homes to accommodate a post-pandemic world. In solidarity, Ryan O'Malley, Councilor, Ward 4. Any other questions? We're going to close to public now.
I will motion to approve it as a right.
I'll second.
Motion to approve petition 21-007. Motion by Sherwin, second by Bilgan, to approve this petition. We'll call the roll. Bilgan?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Sherwin?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Kramer?
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor. Motion passes. Petition 21-007, 34 Tremont Street is approved.
So the petition is approved. You can move forward with,
Back to 30 days.
yep,
Yes, you will get a letter from me. There's a 20-day waiting period from when the decision is posted for anyone to appeal our decision. You'll get a letter in the mail then, and you will also need to come to the city clerk's office. I'll give you the date in the letter that you get your decision, that you take to the Registry of Deeds to get recorded, and then you take it back to us, and then you'll be allowed to start building. Okay?
I was going to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yep,
No.
Well, it'd
Not
be,
yet.
so one of your neighbors could appeal it. They could say, we did a wrong thing.
One of our building inspectors will call you tomorrow and explain to you. Oh, okay. It'll be easier.
And you have his contact info?
I do.
It's on the permit application.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so, one thing we didn't do in the beginning is, it's always a third. So we're gonna close the public hearing now, and we can discuss, how we wanna move forward, so we can close it at 7:09.
Thank you. Okay. All right, motion to adjourn meeting. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all in favor, okay. Thank you very much. Okay, as of this time, we do not have any petitions that have come completed to me yet for next month. There's still about a week that we have left.